Ladies and gentlemen, this is the third rendition of the Make It Rain podcast alongside Anthony Collazo from the Hockey News. I'm Joe O'Regan. We got a lot to talk about with the rain. We got no time to waste, so let's do this. The Ontario Reign split the week. It's October 14th. They're 1-1 as the weekend wraps up with 2 against the San Jose Barracuda. We got a lot to look forward to this week. Collazo, how are we?
Joe, everybody watching the podcast, man, what a weekend it was. I was so excited. I've had this day marked down October 12th, Saturday, on my calendar for so long. I even showed up to the arena 2 hours early, which I never do. I was so excited seeing all my colleagues again, seeing the players again, seeing Sturm again, being able to interview him and stuff. And, it was cool. It was a cool weekend.
And I mean, you got to think interviewing those guys, it feels foreign when you start again. And then you're realizing I was just doing this 3 months ago after all. So, I mean, that's got to be something for you, right?
Yeah, 3 months. I mean,
3 months will do a lot to you, though. When
I was younger, I used to think man, this season ends in June, and then they're back in training camp in September. That's not even an off season. But then now that I work in hockey, and I had that kind of off season, even after an extended playoff run that I was able to cover, it's a long off season, man. You get a lot of rest, you feel rejuvenated, you want to get back into the arena, and yeah, it was awesome. I
mean, everybody at this point, season ticket holders, all-in members, Reign Unlimited members, like your boy truly, we're just itching to get back. We had October 12th marked down for God knows how long. I had it marked down for probably 3 months, seriously.
It seems like a lot of people did too. I mean, Saturday and Sunday, just packed houses.
Absolutely.
Almost sold out crowds. Even the corners of the arena that I said the Firebirds game.
Yeah.
I mean, it was packed to the brim. It was awesome.
Absolutely. So we recorded episode 2 on Saturday night. A lot happened Sunday, and even more happened throughout the week. So let's catch up the viewers that didn't see on that. Let's start with Samuel Fagemo and Phoenix Copley to the Ontario Reign.
Yeah, Fagemo was someone I was not expecting to clear waivers. I don't think a lot of people were really expecting him. You would think that after scoring 41 goals in the AHL that some team would at least give him a chance.
Correction, it was 43. In 50 games, might we add. It was 43.
Was it 43?
41 broke the record. I know that.
That was the last game. Oh, no, because then they had the road games after in Colorado.
Correct, sir.
Yeah.
There you go.
You're right. 43 goals for Fagemo. You would think that someone in the NHL would give him a chance, even a bad team. Maybe his veteran presence, his powerful shot, you would think that someone would give him a chance. No one gave him a chance. He's back on the Reign, and that's huge for the Reign. Absolutely.
I mean, it gives them another shooting outlet to use, and we'll get into this as we get into the podcast more, but I mean, Samuel Fagemo, it's obviously a big name. Reign fans loved the guy last year. I mean, if you're tallying a goal a game, you should be loved by your fan base. No NHL team surprisingly wanted him. You would think last year the Nashville Predators took a flyer on him, and now this year it's no one was having the business with Samuel Fagemo, and now he's back, and he's the first-line right winger for your Ontario Reign. So, by any means, the Ontario Reign are going to take that. And, I mean, Phoenix Copley.
Copley. You did it.
Yes, I did say it incorrectly. Hey, we're going to get better as we go with that. But the 9-year AHL veteran, 2 years with the Kings, went 27-8-3 the 1 year they made the playoffs. They made the playoffs 3 straight years. You're going to have to go with me there. And now he's back with the Ontario Reign after playing with them for 11 games in 2021-22.
And then other news. Last episode, we were talking about who might be the captain. I think we had a consensus that, Doughty and Hudon will probably be the best options. And then I even threw out the name Hicketts, in which Joe quickly shut down you can think that, but I don't think that's going to be the case.
Yeah.
Well, I think a couple days later, Hicketts was announced the captain. So I was right, and I'm not going to...
I'll give you your props.
Yeah, I'm not going to let that go to wayside. I was right.
Yeah, okay, cool. You got to just bump your ego up because, you got everything going for you. The Yankees take down the Royals, and then Joe Hicketts says that, and now your ego's through the roof.
Yeah,
You probably thought you were the best in the world at something.
yeah. I had a friend tell me the other day while I was playing video games. He was like, "Man, you just win too much. Like you need to lose one time." Well, when I was putting up that Ontario rain pennant behind me like about 25 minutes ago, I cut my finger open and it was like a big gash. Had to put alcohol on it. Now I have a Band-Aid around. So that's a loss. That didn't feel good.
That's the first loss of the week for Anthony Collazo.
My Giants are losing 17-7.
Yep.
It's just I'm taking L's. I'm taking L's, like small L's, but they're L's.
Yep. They're eventually going to pile up, I guess.
Yeah, exactly.
Hey, life's a game of momentum. Baseball's a game of momentum. Hockey's a game of momentum.
Hockey's a game of momentum.
And with that, we got some Rain Rapid recaps to get to. Before that, this episode is brought to you by Gowdy Law. Gowdy Law, we all know you're having a game plan is key, but when it comes to your family's future, are you ready? Gowdy Law is here to help, specializing in estate planning. Gowdy Law ensures your loved ones are protected from losing a load of money and time to probate when you pass. Just like on the ice, preparation matters. Do not wait until the last minute to make the right play, like the rain today. We're going to get into that, though. Visit GowdyLaw.com today to start planning for the future. Get estate planning pricing and a free consultation right on their website. It's that simple. The price is right on their website. Gowdy Law, making estate planning easy, understandable, and affordable. The link is in the description. With that, Anthony, get yourself into a Rain Rapid recap. Here we go.
Rain Rapid recap. Let's do it. Opening night in the 909 as the Rain looked to eat some Barracuda like sharks. In the first, a Riley Walsh hiccup in the offensive zone turned into an Anthony Vincent deflection goal with 1-0 Barracuda. Fagemo picks up where he left off, a one-timer that is saved by Askarov doing the splits. That was a crazy save. Still 1-0. Into the second, Casper, your friendly goal scorer, Houtanen makes it 2-0 San Jose. He's younger than me. Time for 20 more minutes as Tyler Madden squeaks the puck to Askarov, waved off by the referee. No goal. It is still 2-0. The arena is booing the crap out of the referees. Collie Graff beats Angus Booth and flips the puck over Portillo to make it 3-0 midway through the third, and it is all but over. Casper, your friendly goal scorer, Houtanen, and Joey Keane, no relation to Robbie Keane, scored 2 goals in garbage time. 5-0 Barracuda, the final.
And unlike Robbie Keane, he's not winning anything this year. So, I mean, let's just say that game's a wash for the Ontario Reign. First game of the year. It happened last year, too, with a 4-1 loss to the San Diego Gulls. Let's just say that crowd had so much built up for. It kind of exploded when Madden scored. Then it called off. And then the loudest ref you suck chant decided to enter Toyota Arena. And then, God, it was all downhill from there.
Yeah, like you said, I mean, the arena, there was so much build up. There was tension, if you will, in the arena, just waiting for that first goal just to absolutely erupt. And it just never came, man. The biggest yells in the arena came when there was a dog that was in the arena and they kept cutting to the dog. And I think one time it even scared me. I was looking down at like some stats and then just a pop and the entire crowd went crazy. I look up and there's just a dog on the Jumbotron just.
Ontario Reign fans, a.k.a. huge service dog fans at this point. You would think, right?
Service dog fans.
I'm pretty sure that dog had a service dog vest on.
I don't remember. He might have actually. That would actually make sense because he just had no emotion. The arena was going crazy and he was just not reacting. So. And
he looked so droopy, but it looks so cute too.
Yeah, it was a cute little dog. What dog do you think that was?
I think it was a Rottweiler.
Besides the point.
That's besides the point. He looked a lot like me. Droopy, sad, tired, and upset that the Reign got absolutely blown out.
You're going to look at the box score and think that Portillo had a bad game, 5-0. I think it was like 20-something shots, like 23, 24. It wasn't many shots, but I think Portillo was left to dry a lot that game. There wasn't really a goal scored in that game where it was like, oh, how do you not save that? In game 2, there was one like that. We'll get to that later. But I think if you're a Kings fan watching this and you look at game 1, Portillo did not play that bad at all. I think the defense they looked tense. They were making mistakes. They looked overly eager, if that makes sense. And the defense, the back six, and just everyone on the ice did not play well at all.
I mean, it's kind of unfortunate in a way. I mean, let's get into some other things. Let's try to get our minds off of what the final score was. Sean Elliott, welcome to the Ontario Reign, decides to drop the mitts. 8 minutes into the first period?
Yeah, I thought that was going to be a big wake-up call for the entire game. Like, Sean Elliott, someone that we have not seen before, new face on the Reign, getting into a big fight, and led to nothing, but it was nice to see him get into a fight because the rest of the game, he wasn't really noticeable at all.
Yeah. I mean, that's kind of just unfortunate, and that's also what you expect out of that fourth line, too. Like, you're expecting that fourth line, it was Sean Elliott, Francesco Pinelli, and Jacob Doty.
Yeah.
Yeah. You got two big boys on that line, then you got Francesco Pinelli, who I'm not saying is a big guy, but the other two guys are enforcers. They're going to fight, and they're going to stand up for their guys 10 out of 10 times.
Yeah, I thought Pinelli being on that fourth line for opening night was interesting, but he didn't play good either at all. He played actually pretty bad. It was like the first half Pinelli of last year, making turnovers, not handling the puck well. Tyler Madden, Hellenius, and Ward on the third line. The first line consists of Malott, Godin, Fagemo. What was the power play units again?
The power play units,
or at least the top one.
You still had Fagemo manning the circle. You had Hickett's at the point playing quarterback. You had Hudon. You had Godin. And you had somebody down low. I want to say it was Malott or Jack Studnicka that was down low. It was one of the two.
Yeah.
I mean, let's just get to the one golden chance that Samuel Fagemo had. Perfect 1T position, first period. Seriously, he shot it this far off the ice. If he shot this far off the ice, it's a goal.
Yeah.
Askarov, spread eagle, does the splits, gets his pad on it, like hits his pad square, and he eats the puck up. And like me from 105, and then Caden and Gilk, my two teammates I was with that night, we all just looked at each other like, oh my goodness, how do you miss that?
Yeah, full on splits.
Because that shot last year was, I mean, nothing short of automatic for Samuel Fagemo.
Yeah, you see Fagemo winding up. It was an automatic goal, especially when you see Askarov on the other side of the crease. It was a good pass. And Fagemo's winding up, and he just puts everything he's got into the puck. It was a guaranteed goal every single time, like you said.
I mean, Askarov also is a right-handed catching goalie, so I think he would have a little bit more confidence with Fagemo, which leads me to think that I think Hudon should have gotten a lot more shots because he would have to throw the blocker out with his stick, which I think is a harder save to make.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm no goalie coach. That's just what I think.
All right. Let's go on to game 2. Nothing else in game 1 is really interesting. Reign got pummeled 5-0.
And went 0 for 6 on the power play.
Oh, yeah, that's another storyline. 0 for 6 on the power play, and it only gets worse. We're going to find out right now on game 2. Reign Rapid recap.
The Reign Rapid recap, and after that game, the Reign train looked to steamroll the Barracuda on a matinee matchup Sunday afternoon. And the Reign, after being shut out last night, let loose and score a minute and a half, courtesy of Tyler EA Sports. It's in the game. Madden potting the Reign's first tally on a rebound shot off the boards. 3 minutes later, Tristan Robins evens the game on a 4-on-4, and Colin Graff catches Phoenix Copley sleeping and goes top shelf to give the Barracuda a 2-1 lead heading into the intermission. In the second, Philip Bistek gets a goal to stretch their lead, but then Martin Chromiak says, anything you can do, I can do better. He pots the game. He pots a goal, gets the Reign back within 1 heading into the second intermission. And I mean, 18 minutes in that third period, nothing really happened. But then Phoenix Copley decides to head to the Reign bench. 6 attackers on. Reign get the zone. Then Samuel Hellenius, the 6'6 Finn, born in Dallas, by the way, ties the game with 1:16 left in the third period. But 41 seconds later, but wait, there's more. He scores again from almost the same spot, and the Reign steal 2 points from the Barracuda by the final of 4-3. Samuel Hellenius was first star of the game, if you couldn't have told.
Man, there's not like they were putting so many shots on net and nothing was going through Romanov. And you're just like, man, they're gonna walk away 0-2 in this game or in this mini series. and it's just not an ideal situation for the Reign. And then Hellenius with the extra skater that came off for Copley on the bench, and he scored on a wrister. I mean, they pretty much gave Hellenius just like point blank almost.
Yeah. I mean, they gave him way too much space, and that was something the Barracuda did so well this weekend. They shut down almost any opportunity, any passing lane that the Ontario Reign had.
Yeah, they were playing really aggressive on like the power play, and I guess you can call this a 6-on-5 man advantage. They were playing super aggressive, and the Reign just didn't really know what to do. And Hellenius found an opening, shot the puck, grade A chance, got past Romanov, and then 41 seconds later does it again.
I mean, it wasn't
Unreal.
It wasn't necessarily a carbon copy goal, but he scored from almost the same slot. Like, you could look at the game center on AHL.com, and the goal things were like, they were like right on top of each other. So, hey, the Reign will take it any way they want it. 2 goals inside 2 minutes to steal 2 points. You can't complain about that, surely.
Yeah, that's huge. Coming away, stealing that game is just huge for the morale. It was funny because after the game, when I went to go do my post-game interviews with Sturm and the players and stuff, they were all eating pizza. And so I asked Sturm to end his interview. I said, hey, if you guys lost, was there going to be any pizza tonight, like a little pizza party? He said they already ordered it. Hickets apparently is a fiend for pizza. Apparently, as from what Shaft told me last year when they didn't have pizza after, I think, their second goals game, he was like, and every team that I played on, we always have pizza after, the game. And so they got pizza this year, and Hickets is the captain, so it's no surprise. And Sturm said that the pizza probably tastes better right now after the win.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, victory always tastes sweeter, you surely think, right?
100%.
I mean, let's just quickly get the bad out of the way. 0 for 6 on the power play, 2 games in a row.
0 for 12. Man, you can't have that happen. It simply cannot happen. No matter how you cut the cookie, it can't happen. You cannot go 0 for 12 on the power play, especially when you lose a lot of playmakers coming into the year like Turcotte and Thomas and Clark.
Tynan too.
Tynan. I mean, losing Tynan and losing Clark, 2 of the best playmakers on the Reign last year. I mean, it hurt.
Yeah,
you can tell.
Him on the power play being the bumper and the trailer, and that quickly being switched to Glenn Gaudin this year on that PP1 unit. Like, I mean, obviously it's going to take time to get used to it because you got to get used to a new system. But man, I want to say it did not look the greatest. So let's just say that. I'm expecting a lot out of Glenn Gaudin. I'm expecting it to get better as the season goes on. It's the first weekend. The team's still feeling each other out. You still gotta get on the same page after all, too.
Yeah, we talked about it a lot last week, how they lost a lot of players, but they also added a lot of players, and they do have a lot of depth. I mean, in game 1, you didn't see Atu Yamson. Who was the other guy we didn't see?
Jacob Dvorak.
We didn't see Dvorak, but Gaudin and Stunica were some of the headliners where you bring them over and your eyes open up like, whoa, Gaudin, about him in the Pacific Division. Same with Stunica, 2 of the better skaters in the Pacific Division, and Gaudin and Stunica just looked like they couldn't fill the shoes, at least in the first 2 games. And there's no need to panic. It's the first 2 games. But
yeah, there's still 70 that has to be played. But with that being said, I also want to point out Andrew Podorowski on the Barracuda. He looked really good this weekend.
He did. Podorowski, I mean, the Barracuda is going to be a problem this year.
Absolutely.
Like, these are must-see matchups in the Pacific Division. If you see them on the schedule, go to a game. Yeah. They have a tandem goalie, or a goalie tandem that is probably one of the better ones in the entire division, maybe even in the AHL. You have Askarov, who can be an NHL goalie for sure, and then you have Romanov, who his last year's stats didn't look good. His GAA was in the 3s and stuff, but that was because last year the Barracuda was not good at all, the worst team in the AHL. Romanov looked solid up until those last 2 goals by Hellenius in this game. I
mean, I feel like that man's just not going to like Toyota Arena at all because he got a quick hook early last year when Fagemo scored a hat trick too.
Yeah.
It's like last February or something like that.
All right. It's time for the rain weather report. How this segment is going to work. There's going to be a 100% chance of rain, a 50% chance of rain, and a 0% chance of rain. 100% being this player just absolutely stormed on the other team this weekend.
Absolutely.
50%. He played good, but he kind of was undershadowed by the 100% chance, and the 0% chance of rain is he needs to be better. He did not rain on the other team at all. With that being said,
let's get into the 100% chance of rain. Or no, 0. Do we want to go 0 to 100 or 100 to 0?
We'll go 100 to 0.
All right, let's go 100 to 0. So the 100% chance of rain, I mean, hands down, it's Samuel Hellenius, right? Stealing the game for the rain, 2 goals. The physical presence of him on the ice looked absolutely unreal both games. Saturday wasn't as prevalent as Sunday, but Sunday he was laying good checks, finishing his checks, finishing his shifts, and then eventually you're going to get rewarded. Good things happen to good people, and he just happened to score 2 goals within the last 2 minutes of the hockey game.
Yeah, like you said, he was finishing his checks, his shifts. He was all over the ice, man. He was getting in deep. He was causing havoc to the other team on the ice, and not to mention, in game 1 he wasn't good. 7 for 17 inside the circle. In game 2, he was 13 for 17, and that was a 13 for 17 where the last 3 weren't good. I think there was a point in the game where I think he had like 12 faceoff wins in a row. He was like 12 for 13 up until those last 5. So, man, it's so important to win faceoffs in professional hockey, and he is the biggest reason why they take that win on Sunday.
You got to give him props because you got to start with the puck. Like, especially when you get to those empty net situations. Now, granted, I don't think he was taking the faceoffs when they did empty the net and then he eventually scored. I don't think he was. I think it was Godin that was taking the draws. But winning the puck and winning possession, especially in the offensive zone, just leads to chaos sometimes.
Phoenix Copley talked about it too. Schaffer asked Copley, you saw Hellenius when he was a rookie. You were down here. How has he developed and how has he looked? And Copley was he was talking about it with some of the guys yesterday, how Hellenius just looks so much better. His shot's so much quicker, so much more powerful. And he's everywhere on the ice. He just plays a better brand of hockey that Copley didn't see from him because he was obviously with the Kings. So Copley's impressed. We're all impressed. Hellenius is going to be a force to be reckoned with. I mean, we didn't really mention him last episode, but the way he's looked in these first 2 games, if he can keep playing like that throughout the season, man, he's going to be a real problem.
I mean, is he going to join his fellow Nordic brother Andre Lee in the National Hockey League potentially?
I think Rob Blake and Jim Hiller actually brought up his name in their press conference last year. They brought up 3 names that you didn't really expect to hear. He brought up Andre Lee. He brought up Nikita Pavlichev, which that was a name that everyone was shocked to hear. And then he brought up Hellenius, that he looked good. He looks poised out there on the ice. So, yeah, man, I mean, if he keeps playing like that,
we might not see him much longer.
Yeah, man.
In short, with that, what do you got for your 50% chance of rain?
My 50% is going to be Tyler Madden. Scores the first goal. He almost scored a goal yesterday that was waved off. He looks good, man. He looks rejuvenated. It looks like he's picking up where he left off in the playoffs last year, where he was scoring goals left and right in each round. He was brought up to the second line, the right winger, today in the game. Man, Madden is also another guy where you don't really expect him to be a guy who's going to be the main scorer or anything, but if he can be anything short of that, he's a force to be reckoned with.
Absolutely, no doubt about that. I mean, Tyler Madden. Now, granted, we'll just say this: the goal, you gotta throw a sprinkle of luck into that one on that goal.
Right spot, right time, though.
Oh, absolutely. Couldn't be in a better spot. Shot off the backboards, comes right back to him, and he has all but an empty net to score. So it was a pretty easy put away goal for him to give the Reign a 1-0 lead at that time.
Yeah, 24 years old. He had 72 total points. No, projected this year. He had 34 last year, 33 the year prior. He already has 2, a goal and an assist.
He's projected 72 points this year?
That's what it's saying. If you play 72 games.
Yeah, I was going to say, so you obviously got to play them all, but 72 points. How many goals do they expect him to have?
They say 36 goals, 33 or 36 assists.
Wait.
Unless that's the total. No, it can't be total. No, yeah, that's projected.
That's a lot of goals. That's a lot of points.
Goals, 33 assists.
Yeah. I mean,
36 assists.
36 goals, like, we're over here talking about Fagemo potting 43 last year. 36 goals is no slouch. That's a lot of goals.
Yeah.
And that's a lot of damage to other teams, too.
And talking about his goal, I mean, you guys sprinkling a little bit of luck, but like I said, right place, right time. In his like scouting assessment by Curtis Joe in 2018, Tyler Madden is a player with the instincts and skating to develop into a reliable offensive asset to any team. So he has good instincts, like I said, right place, right spot. His father's name is John Madden.
Should I go back to the? Should I go back to my Rain Rapid recap here?
I didn't even know that.
Sports. It's in the game.
Tyler Madden's father's name is John Madden.
That's just.
Who would have thought?
That's just too ironic at this point.
All right, you want to go with the 0%? Joe?
Yeah, the 0%, the guy that we expect a lot more out of, and I think it's kind of a no-brainer. We've already brought him up, missing a golden opportunity. It's Samuel Fagemo. So obviously 43 goals last year. He's got to have his hands full, and he's got to have super high expectations because last year he wasn't on the opening day roster. So the Reign pick him up maybe about 3 weeks, a month into the season. Samuel Fagemo pots a goal in his first go, and just like that, he's off and running. And next thing you know, he's got 43 goals, and he's competing with Adam Gaudette for the league lead in the AHL. So, I mean, missing the 1T on that power play, it kind of stung from a Reign fan. It was kind of that type of moment. That's a shot we don't expect Samuel Fagemo to miss at all. I'm expecting him to turn it around. There's no other way to say it.
Yeah, not only that, I think he just did not play a good brand of hockey overall. He was whiffing on pucks. He wasn't keeping the puck on his stick. He wasn't finishing his shifts. He just looked like a completely different player on the ice. We saw him last year. He was scoring goals. And that might have been the reason why the Kings didn't decide to pick him up and put him on the roster this year, is because he was a no-show pretty much for the entirety of training camp. No one really heard of him. People were saying he wasn't really playing that good, and that's why they ended up going with Andre Lee. That was a spot that was wide open for Fagemo. It was his spot to lose. And Andre Lee came in, and he was fighting people in training camp and in the scrimmages. And Andre Lee ended up taking his spot on the roster. Yeah. And now Fagemo was down with us, and he didn't play good. Simple as that. He did not play good.
I mean, yeah, you're not wrong. Absolutely. If there's any other way you want to say that, in short.
Another player I kind of want to talk about before we wrap things up is Riley Walsh. I mean, he just looked terrible. I don't think there was a worse player on the ice. I think he can definitely turn it around. But there was so many times where I just saw him whiffing on pucks, like on passes right to him, and it just went under his stick. Like, I don't know if you recognize that. It was weird. He kept missing passes.
I mean, another thing is Riley Walsh is also brand new, so obviously you got to give him the first game exception of him having the jitters. Of course, that second game didn't look much better from him, though. Let's just say that.
Yeah, those 2 games he just kept missing passes. I couldn't really understand it. I was like, how is he consistently just missing these passes? Providence Bruins last year, 28 points. Kind of a down year for him because the past 2 years with the Utica Comets, 43 points, 44 points. No, 43 points, and then 41 points. He played with the New Jersey Devils for a game. I think that was his only NHL game. Hey, NHL player.
He made it. He made it.
You can never take that away from him.
In short, he made it. There's a lot of NHL experience on the Reign, too. Like Hickett's, Hudon. Need I go on?
Another guy, Martin Chromiak. First game didn't look that good.
Oh, yeah, there you go. Here's another guy.
Yeah, game 2, scores a goal, looked a lot better.
Yeah. I mean, his shot, it did not beat Romanov clean, but it was still a good shot. Like the placement, got it. I want to say it was under the blocker. And he gets a goal out of it. Hey,
yeah.
You'll take it how you want it. Studnicka got in there a little bit for a bit of a screen. Hey, a goal's a goal. I'm not here to BMC, but that's a goal.
100%.
You gotta take it where you can get him, right?
Take it where you can get him.
Absolutely.
Phoenix Copley, talk about him a little bit.
Yeah.
Let up a goal and wasn't good.
Yeah, I mean,
bad goal.
I mean, that's like the literal definition. I brought this up to Colin Jackson, the other 2 teammates I brought to today's game. You can't cheat plays like that. He was cheating that. What's his face? That Graf was gonna go behind the net. He was already cheating to it. dives the helmet out of the way.
Yeah.
Graf sees it, goes top shelf. Top shelf, by the way. Top cheddar, top shelf. It's when you score that hits the roof of the net. When you hit the top part of the roof of the net. So I got to clear that up for
all right, Bob Costas.
Yes.
What was I going to say? Sturm described it as a crappy goal, but the other word, the bad word that we cannot say on here. And yeah, I mean, we got to remember he's coming back from a pretty bad injury. So it's his first game back.
Got to let him feel things out in a way.
Yeah, and I even asked him because I thought that goal, it kind of reminded me of when Turcotte last year, when we asked him how different is the NHL from the AHL. He said that the AHL almost is harder in a way because it's sloppier and it's less smooth. So I asked Copley that. I asked him, we see skaters say this as a skater, as a goalie, from his perspective. What do you see? Is it the same for you guys where it's just sloppier, so it makes it sometimes harder? He said it's not harder. He said that it's just less smooth and things are a little bit less predictable sometimes. Yeah. But he said that was an effect of his first goal.
Yeah, and I got the same question asked to me from one of my teammates, from Cole, and he was saying, "Is the NHL faster in a way?" And I'm like, yeah, of course you've got your NHL guys like McDavid and McKinnon that could just skate through guys like it's no big deal. I mean, the AHL, yeah, okay, some guys might skate a little bit slower, yeah, sure, but there's a lot more broken plays. There's a little bit less flow in the AHL. That's what makes those games not look as fast as the NHL, of 100%. Course.
Yeah, it's really all flow.
Yeah.
It's really all flow. That's really all it is.
It's a flow and a tempo and a momentum type thing. I mean, momentum's so big in all sports.
Yeah, 100%. I think that's it.
Sounds about right.
I think that's all we have to talk about right now.
What to look forward to this week: the Ontario Reign take on the Bakersfield Condors. And it's the only game this week, this Friday night. It is emo night at Toyota Arena. Puck drop is at 7 p.m. Hopefully you guys can make it out there. If not, it is on AHL TV and Flow Sports. Until next time, he's Anthony Collazo from the Hockey News. I'm Joe O'Regan. Have a great week, everybody.
Let's score some power play goals.
Yeah!